Hi, my name is Sydney McMenamin. I'm doing this presentation over secondary transition for students with autism. So the first part of this is getting ready for college. So secondary transition is going to be transitioning from high school into adulthood. So that could be going to college or getting a job, which is especially hard sometimes for students with autism. So this is getting ready for college. A lot of times you want to do social communication interventions with these students. Social communication interventions are going to help students with autism develop better problem-solving skills. And if they learn these skills, they're going to learn how to better interact with students. They're going to learn how to better deal with social situations that they might encounter in college that we don't necessarily think about every day because of the way we think is different than the way we think, and we don't, or the way they think, and we don't always have the same struggles with social communication that they do. You also want to have multiple visits to the future college. If a student decides where they want to go to college, it's super awesome if you have the availability to go and visit that college multiple times. This will get the student ready to kind of know their way around the college campus. They can meet teachers, they can meet other faculty members. This will just give them the possibility to get more comfortable before just throwing themselves into college. And another thing I would really recommend is meeting with disability services at your future college. Go in there, have a discussion with them. This will give you an idea of kind of the accommodations that the student could be receiving when they get into college. This is also super important for self-advocacy, which these students should really learn and will learn as they get into college as well. And I'll talk about that a little more later. So here's some options to help with transition. You can do transition assessments, which these will identify a student's strengths and weaknesses and can give them an idea of what kind of path they want to go on. So that could be something like maybe college isn't right for them, or maybe they want to go to college and this is what they're interested in, and that can help them decide on a major or things like that. An informational interview, they can go into anyone really and just ask questions, and they get to conduct the interview more so. This will give them the availability to get more information prior to making a decision. And I really recommend going on a lot of these informational interviews. That way you can really get a sense of what you want to do, whether it's going to different job opportunities or different colleges, either way. You can do job shadowing, where you just follow around someone that you're interested in that type of work and see what they do every day. College tours, visit multiple colleges, decide which one's going to be best for you. You can connect with adult agencies such as like independent living, and this will give you resources to help you with deciding whether or not you want to pursue different independent living options. There's also vocational therapy options, just a bunch of different adult agencies that they could use once they make that transition out of high school. Also, post-secondary education in high school. This could be something as a dual credit class or an AP class, and this will give the student a sense of what these college courses are going to be like before they have to leave high school and embark on them all on their own. So I think it's super, if they have the availability to do that and the grades to do that and all the requirements are met, that would be super awesome for them. So self-determination and self-advocacy are super important for students, especially with autism, transitioning from high school into the adult world. So the first one I want to kind of talk about is self-advocacy. To do this, students should learn the laws, learn what their rights are. It's going to be super important for them to be able to stand up for themselves if they know what they have available to them based on the laws that are put in place and the rights that are put into place. This will give them, again, the availability if they go into their disability services office at the college that they want to go to, let's say, and they say, here's my proof of my disability. Here's what I think I need. You guys will have a discussion about it. They'll get a letter back stating their accommodations. that is going to automatically give them that sense of self-advocacy, because as soon as they have done that for themselves, then they get this letter stating they get these accommodations. And then when they go into class, they can self-advocate again and say, here's the accommodations I am receiving, and this is why, and here's how it's going to work and look. Self-determination is a little different, but also going to be super important, because when you go to college, it's going to be a lot harder to keep yourself motivated. You're going to have to work hard, and you do not want to fall behind. You want to keep up on your homework and keep up on your classes. The college professors, even with accommodations, aren't going to be super on you about making sure you get your work done. So that's something you need to do as the student. You have to be motivated to continue and do well in school. Here's some resources for these students. The NCSET.org, which is the National Organization on Secondary Education and Transition. This is just going to give you some of these things that I've kind of talked about too, that are going to say, here's some options for how you can prepare, and that's kind of the same with the autismnow.org. It's going to give you transition help in ways like, it'll give you some resources also, but it'll say, here's some tips on how to get ready. Disability.gov will give you some of the disability laws. Autistic Self-Advocacy Network is going to teach both parents and students how they can work on advocating for themselves or their kids. But we really want the kids to advocate for themselves within their school or their workplace. And Job Accommodations Network, that'll give you some resources on what kind of accommodations you can receive at your job and how that will look, and you can bring those to wherever you're going to work and get yourself accommodations there. And then a Bible verse, Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This is just to remind everybody that God has a plan for you. God knows from the minute you are born how your life is going to go. And even though transitioning out of high school can be scary, and you're going to be confused on whether or not you should go to college, or whether or not you should get a job or which job, God has a plan for you, and we need to make sure that we trust that and follow our hearts and follow our plan that is put in place by God. Don't stress out too much about it, even though it is a stressful situation. It will all work out for itself.